What is going on, everyone? We are here with another episode of the Spotlight series hosted by yours truly, ACK. Y'all know the drill at this point is we're slowly climbing up that 80 episode point. We're getting to 90 episodes, and hopefully by the end of the year, we hit that 100 episode mark. That's what we're trying to do. And just here for the ride, enjoying all these live interviews, talking to artists, and hearing their story through music. And today, kind of hitting the country music scene because y'all know I'm a country boy at heart, and that's what grew up on, born and raised, and that's what I love talking about. I mean, we have rap artists, we have pop artists, we have R&B, all that fun stuff, but at the end of the day, it always comes back to the country. So today I got Josh Dunnam here. Josh, how are you today, man?
Man, I'm doing good. I'm doing good, man.
No, man, listen, I appreciate you taking time out of your day, sit here and talk about your story through music. Cause at the end of the day, that's what it's about. It's about hearing kind of your journey through music, what you're kind of doing in the music business, and then kind of what we can look forward in the future for you. So I just appreciate you taking time to do this today.
Man, I appreciate you for having me, man. It's gonna be fun.
No, of course. So kind of just jumping right into the first question is always starts with the basic of basics is where did singing and playing kind of really start for you? Because I know for some artists it starts at such an early age. The day they were born, they start humming nursery rhymes and all that. But like to compare it to someone like myself who really only started songwriting and stuff back in 2018. So that was only 4 or 5 years ago now. So just kind of where did everything come about for you? How did singing and playing really kind of take you on this journey?
So yeah, man, I was in middle school when I really started trying to learn how to play guitar and uh and just started singing. But my dad, he's a singer and he plays on guitar. He's been doing that for a little while. And he kind of taught me. I came up to him one day. I was like, Dad, I want to learn how to play guitar. His eyes lit up. He was excited. He's proud of me for doing all this. But he kind of showed me three chords, and I remember the chords too. It was a G, a C, and a D, and I just practiced and practiced and practiced, and ever since then I've been playing, and just recently started writing music. I've always tried to write music since I was younger, but I always kind of had a writer's block, and then
Yep.
I guess some inspiration leads to another, and then you start writing, you get into a groove of things, and you kind of figure it out.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, all it starts with is just those three chords, like you said, and then I mean, it just flies off from there, and then next thing you know it, you're in your 30s, you're in your 40s, you've been doing it your whole life now, and it's a crazy journey when you really go back and kind of really think about how stuff really started to where it is now. And I always live by the quote is because when I started songwriting in 2018, I go back and think about it sometimes, and it's just like what if I didn't do this? And I always live by this quote is you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. And I mean, if you don't start picking up that guitar, if you don't start writing those lyrics, then be kicking yourself in the butt a couple years down the road saying, why didn't I do this?
You're right. You're
So
right.
it's always just so cool to hear those stories. And there's always inspirations that people look up to in the music business. I always like to say a lot of people know is that 90s, early 2000s, and some of the earlier country before that too is really what I grew up with. And this is why I'm excited for this episode because I know you're a country boy too. And
Yeah.
that's what you're doing in the music business, especially with your song, Where's the Country? That kind of
Oh
really
yeah, man. Yeah.
goes into it. And I probably know what a lot of your answers are for this, but just for kind of really people to hear is who are some inspirations that kind of really inspired you music wise when it comes to writing and singing?
Yeah, man, there's a lot, but I think the number one, what really kind of made me fall in love with country music was Hank Williams Jr. That's a really big one for me. I started listening to him at a young age, especially being from Alabama. Hank Williams Jr. is a big name around here. He's a big name all over, but
Yeah.
especially where I'm from. And that's what really made me fall in love with country music. And then once you listen to him, then you kind of dig into more of the different country music artists, Waylon Willie,
Yeah.
Merle Haggard, Johnny Cash, all them, and then you really start falling in love with it. So I think that's where my love came from.
Yeah.
And as far as performing goes, I feel like just going to concerts, man. I went to a Cody Johnson concert. I look up to Cody Johnson a lot. I think
Love myself some Cody Johnson.
I think he's great, man. I went to a Cody Johnson concert not too long ago, and
Mhm.
watching Morgan Wallen and watching all those guys just do their craft and just do it right, man. It's
Ex-
it's
Exactly.
electrifying.
That's just the dream at the end of the day, is just to do
Oh
what
yeah,
they're doing.
sure,
And
for
I
sure.
mean, just that country music and some of those artists that you describe, is the whole thing that really gets me into the country music, is the storytelling aspect. And that's what I'm big on when it comes to writing music. And when I'm sitting here trying to write my own stuff, is I just want to tell that story. I want something that's relatable and that people really have that emotional connection with it, because at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. And this is kind of leading into the third question, and it's one of my favorite questions. I always have to quote Garrett Walker, who was on the show. People get tired of me saying this quote, but he said it perfectly when he was on the show. And I asked him this question. He said the songwriting process is like a puzzle. Whether you have a 500-piece puzzle, 200-piece puzzle, whatever kind of puzzle you have, is you have all these pieces scattered on the table, and you try to figure out what fits where. And slowly you start putting the border together, you start putting the middle together, you figure out this piece fits there, that piece fits there, and by the end you have this full masterpiece, you have this full thing that you can share with people. So there is no rhyme or reason to the songwriting process, as you probably know, and as every artist knows, there is no rhyme or reason. But at the end of the day, is what is your creative process like when it comes to writing music?
It's definitely it's definitely just me by myself. And it'll come up in spurts though. So like I'll just give you an example. So I one of my favorite songs that I wrote, before me and my buddies were about to go downtown. And man, I was just up here. Whenever I start playing, I kind of play on the guitar and then think of some chords and then hum and do whatever I need to do, try to get a melody going. And so as far as that goes, I had recorded like just me humming to some chords. And we went to the bar that night, and dude, I ended up leaving because I started thinking of these lyrics. I was there. I was like, man, I gotta go, because once you figure something, you gotta, because that's what
You got to
happens.
go with it.
Yeah, and then I left, man. I came back, but I think as far as just the writing process goes, um, it's just kind of a spark for me. You know, it's either it's there and I'm just writing lyrics that are just I think are good, or it's me sitting down trying to force some inspiration to come out, and then But I've never really been a I'm gonna sit down today and get some writing done. It's been like I'm gonna play guitar and see what happens. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
No, exactly. And it's always cool just to kind of hear the answer to this question, because it just, the songwriting process starts in so many different unique ways. And some artists like you yourself, just you start with the melody, you start humming a little bit to some chords and stuff like that. But then someone like myself is, I try and start with the lyrics, because I can't do a melody for shit. I mean, even though I'm a producer and everything, but it's so much easier for me to start with the lyrics. So it's always cool to kind of hear how people start with their whole process.
Another thing that I do is we were talking about kind of the reason, and I'll think like, okay, what do I want to write about? Like, what's something that I'm that I'm either a going through or I just want to write a song about.
Yeah.
So for example, like Where's the Country? Um, I'm not going to say any names about who it was or whatever, but man, I went to a concert, and the opening act was out, and he was wearing like this big old puffy jacket, and by the time his song was playing, like midway through his set, he like took it off and was like rubbing it in between his legs and threw it over in the crowd and started dancing. Like, and I was like, dude, that I don't know what he's doing, man. I don't know. He's embarrassing himself. And so I got the idea about just where's the country like that. That's not what I was raised up on. That's not what, people have known and loved for years. And that's not what, I mean, mostly people that love country music, that's not the reason they fell in love with it, with stuff like that.
Exactly.
And so I wrote the chorus, and man, I sat on that chorus for forever. Uh, I sat on that chorus for forever. And then I ended up moving out of my where I was, and I moved to Auburn. That's where I live now. And then I just met my new roommate, and he told me, he said, what's your claim to fame? Because we're getting to know each other. He's like, what's your claim to fame? What's your reason for not wanting to work a 9 to 5? Basic 9 to 5. I said, man, well, I play and sing and write songs. He said, what you got? I showed him that. He's like, go up there and finish that right now. So I went up there and started writing a little bit, and it was kind of coming together, man. It's kind of coming together. I was like, man, it sounds good. And sure enough, got it produced. And
Yeah. No, and I mean that's awesome, man. I mean, I've been listening to it on repeat for a while now, but was just listening to it a little while ago just before the interview and everything. And just reminds me a lot of another artist who I had on here up and coming too is Kevin Lee. He has a song called This Ain't My Country. And it's just it's kind of basically the same whole story aspect is just the stuff that's going on now in country music isn't the same as it used to be back
Right.
then, and just kind of where did all that kind of go and why isn't that around anymore. So definitely, like, I love the song, man, and it's gonna be even more of a hit once more people start listening and hear this interview, because you're definitely a hell of an artist and you're definitely a hell of a songwriter.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Of course. So kind of getting to the fourth question, always the hardest question on the show. And that's why I always say, thank God I'm the one that is asking it and not answering, because I don't even know if I can answer this question, but always love putting artists on the spot here. Is there's hundreds and thousands of artists out there trying to make a name for themselves on social medias like Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all that fun stuff. And it's hard sometimes to just get your name out there alone and to say, hey, this is me, this is who I am, this is what I'm doing. But at the end of the day, is what can people kind of take away from your music that we can't find in anyone else's music? So what makes you you compared to all these other artists?
Truth, truth, man. I will never. One thing that I've always said, man, is I'll never try to be somebody that I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
I'll never try to. I mean, it's one thing, if you're trying to sell and you're trying to make music. I mean, you're trying to make money and trying to do all that. But what a lot of people fail at doing now is sticking true to who they are,
Yeah.
and they'll fall into kind of a rat hole of pleasing people. And when at the same time, it's like, man, this is your life. You gotta, if you want to enjoy it, you got to do it your way. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And so I mean, yeah, man, I think the reason, one thing that makes me different is I'm always be true to myself, and I always be true to my music. I always
And
live by it.
no, absolutely. And that's one of the better answers that I love hearing on there, because some artists just come out here and they say that sometimes they do fall down that hole and they get compared to other artists a lot. So they start kind of looking into their style and how they do things. But at the end of the day, it's just be yourself, be who you are, because that's what makes people special. And that's what makes a great artist a great artist. And a fantastic songwriter is someone that says, I'm not going to copy how this guy writes his music, I'm writing what I feel, I'm writing how I'm going to connect to the audience. And
Right.
that's just the really special thing at the end of the day.
Right.
So kind of getting into the last question before we hear some live music from you, because that's always my favorite part of the interview is hearing some live music, is kind of looking towards the future for yourself. Is you have that one song out now, is Where's the Country? That's what we're going to hear after this. But what are some of your short-term and long-term goals, and just what else can we expect from you down the road?
Yeah, man. So I want to come out with another song before the year ends. Um, I got a handful written, but my plan is maybe a song in about a month comes out. I kind of want to grow my following a little bit more before I bring out another one,
Mhm.
and so get that one out, and then, man, I wrote this one song that would go perfect for a duet with a female artist. So hopefully that'll happen one day. And then maybe, if I get a big enough fan base, we can probably come out with a kind of EP album, whatever.
Mhm.
But yeah, we're gonna keep making music though, because that's what I love doing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
No, and I mean that's just awesome, man. Is just keep making the music, keep doing what you're doing, because I'm definitely a huge fan. You only have the one song out, and I'm already a fan, and I'm already
I
just ready to
appreciate it,
see.
man. I appreciate it.
Of course, just ready to see what else you're gonna put out there, what kind of new music you got to offer, and I just can't wait to see what happens for you, man. I hope some big things do happen for you.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it, man. You too, man.
Thank you. So that kind of concludes all the questions that I was throwing at you for today. And now it's getting to the good part, is hearing some live music. Obviously you kind of did touch up on the song a little bit, but if you want to just tell us a little bit about how the song kind of really just came about. And other than that, man, I'm going to put myself on mute. You get all set up and the floor is yours.
Yeah, yeah. Let me grab my guitar and I'll talk about it.
Absolutely.
So yeah, man, this song is my latest release song. It's called "Where's the Country." It's written about how just country music, man. Just the way of the country artists and the country world, especially in the music business, just ain't the same, man. I've always felt like a lot of people, like I was talking about a while ago, with kind of falling into that rat hole of trying to please people. I think at the same time, people are just trying to sell some CDs. They just put out whatever, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so my goal with this song was for people to hear it and kind of realize, like, hey, I feel the same way. You know what I mean? Um, I wanted to kind of get a point across, like, a lot of people are fed up with it.
Yeah.
And the title is "Where's the Country," and hopefully I can find it for everybody. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So yeah, this is "Where's the Country."
I remember being young and green, hearing all them songs on that old machine, sing about living wild, being free. When I say living wild and free, I'm talking about the song between you and me, the outlaw that walks through Jesse's dream, or when Hank was in Denver and he OD'd. We all came along this old ride. What I hear today don't settle right. All the shit they play just to sell damn CD. Can't we all find a way? Bring back Cash, Waylon, Willie, and Hank. Yeah, the outlaws made it real, showing us all how country feels. Whether we're singing all tore up, staring at the bottom of a Dixie cup. So soul out, where's the feel? Where's the country? Yeah, where's the country? Yeah, seems like Hank wrote the book of life, and Willie did more than just get high. Cash still in that ring of fire, and you can still see Waylon in the Texas sky. Now all those stars would be real pissed off. They saw what the hell was going on. Take it all back, tell them kiss the dust, cause the shit just don't belong. Can't we all find a way? Bring back Cash, Waylon, Willie, and Hank. Yeah, the outlaws made it real, showing us all how country feels. Whether we're singing all tore up, staring at the bottom of a Dixie cup. Where's the soul at? Where's the feel? Where's the country? Don't get me wrong, there's some modern gold, but the hippie and the pop just got to go. Can't say times don't change, but the shit gets old. The people that want in with the old, and the people that screaming out with the new, the people that want to hear some truth, this song is just for you. Can't we all find a way? Bring back Cash, Waylon, Willie, and Hank. Yeah, the outlaws have made it real. They showed us all how country feels. Whether we're singing all tore up, staring at the bottom of a Dixie cup. Where's the soul at? Where's the feel? Where's the country? Yeah, where's the country? Where's that old country music at?
Awesome job, Josh. Thank you so much, man, for doing Where's the Country. I mean, just Where's the Country at? Just such a jam. Can't thank you enough for being on the show today. Y'all go check him out on social medias, on Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you stream your music. It's Josh Dunnam. Josh, obviously Josh, and then Dunnam is Dunnam. Y'all go check him out, and just again, man, thank you so much. Such a great song. Love jamming to that. And that kind of concludes another episode of the Spotlight series hosted by yours truly, ACK. Y'all know the drill at this point. Sundays, 1 p.m. Eastern. We got new music, new artists, new stories. Never know who's popping through. Never know what you're going to hear. So stay tuned for next week, and thanks for tuning in today.